Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Will. Previous video I processed some beautiful spalted apple, so time to get them turned. As you can see I have 3. I'll try and turn 2 for this video, so I've picked 2. I'll stick that guy to one side. Just take a look at them here. As I said, I was going to do the 3 of them live edge, so this is going to be my live edge. I just drilled a temporary recess here. I'm going to mount it on a woodworm screw. I just flattened it off basically with the biggest force-nut bit I had, which is about 2 1/4 inches, and yeah, again, woodworm screw. So my tenon will be on this end, but on further inspection on this one, the cracks were right up into the rim. Don't know if the camera's picking it up. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. So there's one, there's the other one. So the spalting line stops literally down a couple of millimeters. And it's a little bit further down on this side, but I might be able to turn some of that away and get a standard bolt from this, which I would prefer. So we're going to do one standard and one live edge. So that's what you're going to see in this video, guys. So I'll stick this other, as the other one I just, same again, I just put a flat spot and I'll drill an 8mm hole just for to mount it on a woodworm screw. But we'll stick that guy to one side, don't need him, and we'll do this one first in standard orientation. I've already drilled an 8mm hole, guys, in the center. So pop the worm screw into the chuck. So this little Nova chuck. I did drill this, but I changed my mind when I copped the crack so far in it. So, but anyway, that'll turn away. So give that a pinch up. So nice and secure. So time to make a start. So I'll just bring up a bit of tailstock support for a few minutes, just to get some of this to round. That's touching there, so move it off a bit. Now that's not too bad. So I'm going to start off with a 5/8 inch bone gouge, just to get it down to round. Now see what sort of speed I can get. Yeah, so I'm getting up to 1,000 there, so that's low, so I don't even need that. So we'll knock it back to about 950. Yeah, there's 950 there. So now, start putting a bit of shape on. So we have a flat spot there, and there's our couple of little cracks. So we need to get rid of them. Bit of bark. Yeah, flat spot bark. So we need to go another little bit. But again, they're only a small bowl, guys, so there's not a lot of material to come off. So more bark, still have a couple of little flat spots, so we'll take another cut. Smell off of this, guys, is beautiful. Lovely, lovely smell of apple. So all my flat spots and all the bark is gone. So I'm going to true up this rim here. So yeah, I'm going to true up this rim here. So So just using the right hand wheel, flipped all the way over. Let's see how that looks. So I see a little chainsaw mark there, so I need to go a little bit more, and a chainsaw mark there. So go another small. So now down to good wood all the way around. So now, time to work on a chucking point. So whether I put a recess in or a 10. I think I might actually go for a 10. Now we see how that looks. So I still have a couple of little cracks shown there. So I can take away the tailstock now. I'm happy enough. It's in balance. So now I'm just switching to a smaller tool. This is a 3/8 inch. So I need to get rid of that little hole that I put from the forcing a bit. So another tiny little bit to go. So now I'm just going to mark for tenon. I have my divider set. So now just highlight that with a pencil. Beading and parting tool. A little 1/2 inch skew just to dovetail that slightly. And just round that over, because I might leave it just as a little foot. So round that over ever so slight. And just grab a spindle gouge now and just want to concave that ever so slight. So now that's my chucking point form. So now I can get to the final shape on the bowl. So I still have a tiny little crack shown here. So I'm wondering how much would I have to cut to get rid of it. Probably too much, so I'm thinking I might pop a little bit of CA glue into it before I go any further. Although I'm looking, I'm a little bit high here, so I might just take it down another tiny little bit. I'm just going to switch over to a little shear scraper, guys, just to try it, just to see how it cuts. So a little 1 inch shear scraper. So that actually scraped quite nice. It's always good to try your scraper on different woods just to see what woods it likes and it doesn't like. That isn't too bad, but yeah, so definitely these cracks are going to have to be filled. So I just turned it up on its edge to do a little shear scrape, and I took these lovely little shavings off. So that's what you want from your scraper. So yeah guys, I'll just pause and I'll put a bit of CA glue in this crack here. I might rub a bit of sanding sealer or something on just so as it doesn't stain the wood. And I'll take you back when we're ready to go. So now guys, that's the CA glue in. I had a couple of little cracks here and I had a couple here. So I've left it there 10 or 15 minutes to dry. So what I'm going to do now is get the piece sanded, and I'll take you back when we're ready to flip it around. I'll show a couple of clips of the sanding. So now that's the piece all sanded. I sanded up to my usual 400 grit. So it cleaned up quite nicely. So what I'm going to do is, because the wood is slightly punky here, I'm going to put a good coat of sanding sealer on. There's a slight little punky area just there, it's soaking up a bit. So now just let that dry off. So now guys, I put a coat of sanding sealer on the piece because as I said, we had a little bit of a punky spot there and a tiny bit there, so just to toughen that up more so than anything else. But I did sand it back with some 400 grit paper because I want to get an oil finish on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some citrus burnishing oil. So I'm just going to apply it with a bit of paper towel. Oh, that gorgeous colour. Applewood is absolutely beautiful. It's just as hard to get it in any decent size, because usually it rots from the inside out. Soaking that up nicely. So turn on the lathe and burnish that oil in. So with the same piece of paper towel I applied the oil with. And we'll just get a clean piece. So that turned out quite nice, some really nice colour in that. It'll probably take a couple of coats, but that'll do for now. So we get it off with a worm screw. So now, first job, flatten this off. So again, turning at about 1000 RPM. And now we can start hollowing out the bowl. So we're good so far. I've left the rim slightly wider, but we're down to probably 3/8 of an inch. We're about 3/8 of an inch here, probably a little bit less as we go down along. So we'll get rid of this bit in the middle. So just a tiny little bit there on the bottom, and I think we are done. So I might actually switch over to a little scraper. That should do. So it's a nice uniform thickness all the way down. But I do have a tiny little line there, and that needs to go. So just switch over to a little round nose, just because it's right on that curve. and that done the job. So now we're good to sand. So again guys, I'll pause and I'll take you back when we're ready to put a finish on. So now guys, that's the sanding all done. I sanded up to my usual 400 grit. So time to get a little bit of finish on. So again, Hampshire Sheen citrus varnishing oil. So again, just applying it with a piece of paper towel. So that's a nice good layer on there now. I might as well load up the underside again. I turned this piece down quite thin. Isn't that some amazing colour? You gotta love Applewood. Just check the thickness before I varnish it. Ooh, I've got 5 millimeters. 5 millimeters in the bottom. The rim is slightly thicker. It's undercut ever so much. So it's 7 mil here and 5 mil all the way down to the bottom. So it's a nice delicate bowl. So now varnish that oil in. So I'll leave this piece another day and I'll get another coat of oil on it. But in the meantime I can turn one of the live edge pieces. And that should do. So there we go guys. Our first little apple bowl. Wow, look at all that colour. That really is nice. Yeah, there's just that one little spot just here. Slightly punky material. I probably should have turned it away, but I would have been left with a shallower bowl. But that is what it is. I think it's still a lovely piece. So I decided on taking I'm going to take the foot off. I don't like it out. So if you can look, I left a slight little OG just there, just to keep the bowl just slightly up off the table. None of the camera's picking it up, but there is a tiny little OG there, so it'll create a nice little shadow line under the bowl. But yeah, a nice little piece of apple. So yeah, I'll pop this guy to one side now guys, and we'll crack on and get one of the live edge pieces done. So now guys, time for the live edge one. So I have drilled a hole here, just flattened off this with a Forstner bit, drilled my 8 mil hole. So just going to mount it onto the worm screw. I did say I was going to mount it between centers, but yeah, I just find this way a little bit quicker. So whatever the largest Forstner bit I had, I think it was about 2 1/4 inches. So I just made a flat spot and drilled my 8 mil hole, and that is solid out. So again, I'll just bring the tailstock up for a few minutes just till I get it balanced. Give it a spin, make sure it's not touching. So now, start getting it around. So I'll start off with my 5/8 inch ball gouge. So a little bit out of balance there. So I'm getting 950 RPM, which is loads. So now start getting these corners off. Yeah, so far so good. So a nice flat spot there, so that will be where my chucking point will be. So I'm going to continue up along here. So as you can see, guys, it's quite punky there. It's chipping away. Yeah, it looked nicer when I was when the log was in its entirety, but anyway, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. We won't give up yet. So far, so good. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to start cutting back here because I don't want to chip the bark off. I know I'm missing a little bit here, but if I can try and save as much of it as I can. We'll see how we're doing. So we still have a flat spot that needs to go, and as you can see, guys, we do have a few cracks. Yeah, you gotta love fruit wood. So down to around here, but I still have a little flat spot here, so I need to take another cut. We should be close, yeah. So we're down to decent wood all the way around. So now we'll concentrate on the shape. So bark is looking nice all the way around. So yeah, I'm going to have to seal a couple of cracks, guys. None on this side, but I have 1, 2, 3 tiny, so say 4 little cracks there. But however, so we're just switching over to the smaller gouge now. This is a 3/8. I'll see if I can get a little bit more speed. Yeah, so I'm just doing 1300 there, guys. 1350. Now we'll stop and take a peek. So, nearly there. Nice curve. But I do have a tiny little ridge there, so that'll have to go. It's ever so slight, so I might just shear scrape it away. But I want to work down on my foot, but yeah, I might scrape this first. So I'm just going to switch over a little spear point scraper. It's only a little 3/4 inch. And my tool rest in a little bit closer. It was only ever so slight. Now we see it. So that has worked fine. So that took it away. So happy with that. So I can take away my tailstock now and we can work on the foot. So yeah, just looking here, it is quite punky. There was that band that was running down the center of the log. I don't know if you can remember from the processing video, anyone that's seen it, but if I show you on this piece, you can see there was a band of punky wood ran the whole length of the log. So that's what we've got here. So I might take that in a little bit more. So that took care of some of it. There is a little bit left, but nothing I can do about that, I think. So yeah, so I think I'm going to make my tenon here. So I'll just flatten that off a little bit better. Now just have my divider set, mark the centre hole and then just touch it there. So I have my centre hole in when I want to remove my tenon. So parting tool. Oh, that one's not very sharp, we'll try this one. No, that's better. That should do. And a little skew, I'll just dovetail that ever so slight. Let's take that sharp edge off. And I don't think that's too shabby. So what I'm going to have to do, guys, just before I sand, I'm going to have to fill a couple of cracks. So I won't bore you with the filling of the cracks. So as you can see, there's a couple there. So as I said, I won't bore you with filling of the cracks and the sanding. So I'll pause that and I'll take you back when we're ready to proceed to the next stage. So now that's the piece all sanded. I sanded up to my usual 400 grit and it came up quite nice. Tiny, if you look there, CA stained the wood ever so slight, even though I did rub some sanding sealer over that area before I put it on, but yeah, the wood is a slight little bit funky, so the glue did absorb in a bit. But anyway, however, hopefully when I get some oil on it might disguise it. So again, I'm going to put some citrus burnishing oil on. Just get a good layer into it. Be cool if the little bit of moss stays on. That'll look quite nice. So that darkened the wood down quite a lot. So it's after hiding that little CA glue stain. So that's a bonus. I will be taking the tenon off. So happy with that. So now we get it flipped around and into the chuck. So now in the chuck, I just brought up the tailstock because where the tenon is, the wood is actually quite punky, so I'm just fearful of it breaking off. But I'll use it until I get in a little bit, and then we'll just have to proceed with caution. So fingers crossed. So now guys, I just went in with the parting tool there just to get down to as even a wood as I can. That's not so bad. So we'll continue on with the bowl gouge. So now I'm after getting in nearly as far as I can with tailstock support. So unfortunately now I have to take it away, and hopefully that weak tenon holds. So here goes. So I'm getting down into the bottom now, so the wood, that's where that punky section of wood is. So my rim here is, we'll just check it. So that's just 10 millimeters, so that's, what's that, 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to leave that, I'm not going to risk it anymore. A little crack is showing up inside as well, but listen, can't do anything about that. So yeah, so I need to get another bit out of the bottom because I still have 21 millimeters, each quarters of an inch in the bottom. That needs to go. Camera's not showing, but I do have it. That crack that we had on the outside is showing up on the inside, so I might treat that again with just a little bit of CA glue, and I shall get the piece sanded, and I'll take you back when I have that done. So now guys, that's the piece all sanded. I sanded up to my usual 400 grit, and I just softened those sharp edges there with the pad, and with a little bit of moss stayed on, although it is quite loose, so yeah, would have been cool if it was all the way around. So now, get a little bit of oil on this piece. I did put a bit of CA in that crack, and it filled up quite nicely. I did cut out 3 of these bowls, so I'll turn the other one off camera, and I'll put a few pictures up at the end of the video. I think that looks good, so I'm really happy. Yeah, there's the inside all done. That is a beautiful piece of wood, really is. Apple is oh, it's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. There's some gorgeous colour in it. So as you can see, some of the lovely little black spalting lines are starting to show on the bottom. So tenon needs to come off, guys. What I done off camera, what I forgot to say was, because this was a little bit punky, I did put a little, as you can see, I put a bit of tin CA glue around the tenon just to strengthen it, because I was fearful of it breaking off. But I'm glad it stayed. That's why I was taking a lot of light cuts on the inside. So what I'll do, guys, I'll just get a little friction drive in the chuck and put this between centres, and I'll pop this off. I'll take this back then. We'll take a look at the two finished bowls then when I have that done. So we have it just finished, guys. Our lovely live edge apple bowl from Spalted Apple. As you see, I just popped it. I had a little friction drive, bit of scrap wood, a little bit of router matting in the chuck, and I just wedged between centres. So I was able to turn away most of that tenon, and then I just sanded off the last little bit with a sanding arbor in the chuck. So that finished it off quite nice. I did put a bit of CA around that tenon because this area was a slight bit funky, so it helped me get the project finished. But yeah, what a beautiful piece of wood, guys. It really is. It's just 6.5 inches, and it's 3 1/4 inches to the highest side. So a nice little snack bowl or something. So it'll be nice when I get another coat of oil on it. It soaked up loads of oil, so it did. So anyway, here's the first one I turned. So just standard bowl orientation. It's a little bit wider. It's 6 3/4 inches, and it's just 2.5 inches high. This one. So again, two lovely bowls, one log. So one live edge, one standard bowl. Really happy. A gorgeous piece of wood. So I'm really chuffed with them. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video as I did turning it. And if you did, you might consider tap that like for me and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Helps me out a lot. And don't forget to leave me a comment also as well, and let me know what you think. So catch us on the next one, guys. So take care. Bye for now.